No, and he wants... Well, I thought he was going to take the whole bunch up to his room.
No, he'd come down for a banana and whatever else.
Okay, 411.
411. It's not 411, it's 411.
Okay, 411.
Alright, welcome back. This is episode 4?
Yeah.
Is that what this is?
4.
Episode 4.
Yeah, because it was whatever the first one was, Urban Legends, then part 1, and now part 2.
Yep, 7 Gates of Hell.
Yeah, that one.
There you go.
I forgot what the first
This
one
is
was.
part 2 to our missing 411. Before we get started, I have our list, or my list that I have for people who do go out in the woods. Since we're talking about individuals going missing, going lost, and whatever. Nick has a concern for elderly people.
Well, like I said,
Elderly and the midgets.
the old bastards. That's all this stuff.
I promise, this one we will have someone who is more in our age range, not crippled.
Yeah, like the first guy, like served in like World War I, he had half hand or one eye. He's still out there hunting, huh?
He's a dedicated woodsman, okay?
Something.
So you're not going in the woods either because you're crippled?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
I know better.
Do you?
Uh-huh.
Oh, Lord.
Anyway, here is a safety list for anybody who does plan on going hiking, hunting, camping, something that you could take with you out in the woods so you don't get lost.
No, thank you.
I mean, just as a security.
No, thank you.
Just in case the urge strikes you to go out on your own and she doesn't go with you.
I now discovered there's also 6 shades of brown. On our way here, I saw a field with some brown spots, and I was 6 shades of brown. So you got 6 shades of red, 6 shades
And
of
see,
green,
you wouldn't know this
and
if you
6
didn't
shades
go
of
out
brown.
into nature.
I wasn't in nature. I was sitting in the car.
But if you wouldn't...
Polluting
We should
nature.
have him drive back Ferguson Valley Road and have him go through there.
Yeah,
He'll have his
safety
mind
tips.
blown.
Safety tips.
List of things that you should carry with you on your hikes, hunting, or camping. Take your ID. Take extra water with you. Take large trash bag, because you can use it both as storage, rain poncho. If possible, if you have the money for it, a satellite phone, especially for remote areas. GPS. Most phones actually hold a GPS on them, but if you're going to go for like a long trip, I recommend getting an actual, I think they're like $30. You can get a decent GPS system.
$30.
A whistle, that way you can call for help. A knife, fire starter, something brightly colored you do not want to blend in. When people are looking for you, you want to be able to be spotted.
What if I keep it in my pocket?
Then when you go down to the ground, whip it out and flail about with it like a flag. Shut up! You know what I meant?
All I heard was whip it out. I'm like, man.
How's that gonna help me?
Then calmly and politely, discreetly take
Like
out
it was
your
already
brightly-
out.
Oh my god. I stand corrected.
I thought we were in
Well, Nick
nature.
won't have to, but if you're hunting, take extra ammo, but by the sounds of it, he's already locked and loaded. Here's
Fucking dangerous.
three things to do. Tell someone where you are going, and they should expect you to check in. What we've seen in a lot of these missing persons reports, check the weather before you leave. Whether you think you're going to beat the storm or that it's fine afterwards, just check the weather, because that is like the number one thing that we always find in all of these missing persons is either some type of storm system comes in immediately before or after. So check the weather. And if something happens, don't be a hero. Stay close to where you said you were going to be. Everyone is going to be there to look for you. It may take some time, but stay where you said you were going to be. Don't try to go wandering off. So, as promised, Nicholas. No faith whatsoever. None.
Very little.
Yeah. This case is going to be about Aaron Hedges. His age is not 83, not 94. It is 38.
But crippled.
See,
How tall is
purposely he's not crippled.
No, how tall is he? Is he a midget?
How the hell does the height have to matter with any of this?
No, for Nick's interest. If he's a midget, then he's sold.
See, and that's the point. Because they were midgets, they couldn't find him. So that's why they got...
Just because you're a little person don't mean you can't be found.
Yeah,
You're one with the wilderness.
You're close to the ground.
Oh, I'm
you
sorry,
know, the
baby.
bushes are the same as you. It's the same height as you. So
I'm telling you, they're one with the wilderness.
They'll find their way.
God forbid you find fucking rainbow. There's like 30 of them at the end of it, apparently, with gold.
Got a point there.
Yeah.
and you believe that?
Oh God!
Right.
Am I
Find
the
them
only
in
one with
gardens
common
being
sense?
little gnomes.
Yes, you are. Yes.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Continue.
So Aaron Hedges, he went missing September 5th, 2014 in the Crazies, which is in southern Montana. Now, a quote I have in here for the Crazies: "It is well known that no matter where you are in the Crazies, if you follow any stream, it will lead you out, and you will run into some type of help, whether it be road or home." Now, this
So is he a crazy?
No, he's not a crazy. Just where he got lost is the Crazies. I have that statement, or the quote I should say, in there for later on for you to keep in mind, because they call it the Crazies for the fact of people don't go missing there all the time. But it's like a maze, if you will, of like terrain. But the fact is, as soon as you find water, just follow it down. Unlike some areas where it's going to pull to somewhere that it's just going to like dead end, this, if you follow it, you will find your way out. You'll find a road, you'll find someone's home, you will find some source of help. So, this one we actually have an in-depth timeline of what happened. So, September 3rd, 11 a.m. And we're going to got some slides for you. So, Aaron and two friends drive Cottonwood Bench Road on their way to a pack-in elk hunt. So, what does a pack-in hunt mean? A pack-in hunt means that when you are going in the wilderness on a hunting trip, you will take all of your items in with you and leave no unnecessary items or waste behind. It is a practice to preserve the natural environment for wildlife and for future generations. So in this case, the men would load up their 2 horses and a mule with all of their gear. They're not going to stop at a 7-Eleven once they get in there. It's all got to go to the hunting spot. So they would arrive at the parking area, load their packs for a week-long hunt at Campfire Lake. Now on the slide here I have that there's a horse wreck because not long after the start of the trailhead in, they had a mule wreck. Does not say in the report of what happened, just it got spooked and the gear got tossed.
I think Freya spooked them. Look at how terrifying this is.
She is ferocious. That's probably what it was. So you need to go find Aaron then and find out what happened to him.
Yeah, go find Aaron.
Aaron's gear was mainly on this mule. Now, the only thing he did lose for certain was a sleeping bag that we know of. What else was damaged or lost is indeterminate. The guys really didn't mention it in their report for his missing persons file. For 2 days, however, they hunted and spotted around the campsite. Let me move up here. Up at Campfire Lake. So, whatever gear got ruined, broken, whatever, it didn't deter the trip. They continued up to the campsite. Now, the pictures for the campsite, it looks like a giant crater, pretty much. There is a lake that sits in the middle of it, and then there's a ridge line that comes around this whole thing. This dot kind of covers it a little bit. But their camp is like a makeshift, like lean-to in a way, but it sits just off the ridge so they can look down in, see where the elk are, shoot them, go after them. So now on September 5th at 10 a.m., Aaron decided that he would go to a cache location to resupply his lost and missing gear.
I'll be right back.
You don't go out hunting that I know of. I'm not picking on it or anything.
No.
But a cache is something like a community bank. So hunters will a bag a locker. Sometimes it's buried in the ground. Sometimes it's actually just a small cabin or like a bag that bears can't get to. And you'll put non-perishable items in it, just supplies that...
So if somebody needs it.
Right.
Yep.
The thought is, if I would need this one day, it's going to be here, because even if somebody would use it, someone else is going to replenish it, and it's just like common courtesy to just help the next person out. So he knew of one that was within this area. So, 5 p.m. of the same day. So Aaron leaves at 10 a.m. on September the 5th. At 5 p.m., the guys call Aaron to check on him. So here's our camp. This is the cache where he's supposed to go. He follows this trail up.
Fucking olives.
Yes, I had to order 2 olives, or get 2 jars for her. That way I at least got some this time.
You didn't even eat any yet.
No, I've had some out of the other jar, thank you.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I'll eat the rest of it.
Yeah, good for you piece of shit. Peasant.
I didn't even touch the... Whoa. Anyhow, the walkie-talkie that they radioed him with contained a GPS signal tracker. It projected each participant's location. So when they would walkie him, it would show them at the camp. But when he replied, his GPS was showing him this distance here, off trail from where he should have been.
Now, did he actually reply, or was it just like somebody hit it?
No, he replied.
Okay.
He did. There was verbal communication because they asked how everything was going. But something that I didn't understand, and they really didn't explain it in the report, is when they noticed that he was off trail, they didn't question it. So I don't know if they didn't even pay attention till it was later, because not only does it project it, but it records where he was. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking that's how they actually knew where he was in the conversation. They weren't paying attention.
Okay, but there's one cache. That's probably a second cache too, to get merchandise or to get sleeping bags. So
no, this was the only one in the area.
Okay.
No, that's how they knew. They had a direct line, because that's what I was thinking as I was like researching this to begin with. I'm like, okay, maybe he knew of one, like you just said, down the road or something. Yeah. No, it was just the one they knew. They knew how long up, how long back, so that's why they were getting. His GPS showed him off trail for his supposed route on September the 6th, because they knew this was going to be a night up, a night back. So it was going to take him all day to get up to the cache. He'd probably sleep there, wait, and then make the trip back the next day. So they weren't really concerned that it was the next day and he wasn't there yet. The guys believe he is now missing because they haven't had any word from him. They've tried radioing and nothing. There's no signal coming back. There's no voice, nothing. They did spend the entire day on September 7th looking for Aaron. But at 4 p.m., a snowstorm will roll in. 6 p.m., significant snowfall begins to cover the area, 18 to 24 inches deep over the next 12 hours.
So they forgot one of the rules. They didn't check the weather.
Yes, they didn't expect to travel up to go to the cache when they initially left the house. They didn't expect the accident, so they might have known it was coming, but
had to look for somebody, because you don't.
So they clearly aren't overthinkers then.
No, they're not. They're.
To be honest, I would have left after the wreck. I'm like, no.
You would have continued on.
That's already a bad sign.
Back to the car.
Yep.
That you'll actually go with. That a bad omen, you'll actually go with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if something goes wrong, then something else is going wrong too. If one thing goes wrong, then yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Temperatures that were in the 40 to 50s to start the hunt dropped rapidly into the teens now. 9 p.m., the guys reported him missing and asked for help. Due to the location now of the campsite and the route that Aaron took, that his GPS projected him to be, 2 counties had to be involved. So we didn't have just one county doing this search. Right in here where this ridge line is, that actually is like the border line of where the 2 counties merge. So as long as you stay on this path, it would have only been 1 county. but since his GPS popped up, you now have both counties are involved in the search. That just means double the manpower coming in for the search and rescue. Both counties worked from opposite sides of the map and worked in no tracks led in or out. So as this county for this area started at the camp and worked in this way, the other county comes from this side moving towards. Neither side in their search, with the snowfall, there was no tracks that of anyone that we came across, past, that we missed. Okay, so we have second day of the search. Brings us to this slide. Right here, this is where the turn was. It's not highlighted in this photo, but right here would have been that turn. His GPS location would have been here. This is where his boots are now found. Searchers found Aaron's boots. They were found side by side like someone sits at the foot of their bed. They also found a water bladder that belonged in a book bag. Just off the trail was a fire pit. In the fire pit was a pack of partially burned cigarette pack. It was a brand that Aaron was known to have smoked, and a partially burned fire bundles and 2 belt straps from the waist of his backpack were also found in the campfire.
What's a water bladder?
Water bladder is just a very thick piece of plastic that you put in a backpack, and then it has a hose that you usually have come out, and then you can like suck water on it.
I thought it was like his bladder was removed and it was just sitting there.
No. During the documentary that this one talks about, they don't understand, which I don't either. The belt straps they're talking about for the backpack are what go around your waist. It takes the load off the backpack when you're carrying it. Why do you remove that?
Apparently, can you use that as
You
a
want
fire
to challenge
starter?
yourself.
You
Maybe
could try, but
Maybe the wood is wet, so you need something to...
But doesn't it say he had fire starter?
yeah, he had fire starter.
Okay.
So I mean, maybe he was using it to like help get it going, but I don't know. The big thing that they all went to was the boots. The boots were just sitting on a stump, like you just took them off nice and neatly and just down there. So now he's barefoot, and the terrain he's gonna cover, that you'll like the rest of the documentation will show, it's covered in sharp shale.
He's not barefoot, he's got socks on.
Okay, well he's got socks on, but to walk it,
Okay, but maybe he sprained his ankle.
okay.
Okay,
have some
when you
white
sprain your
spots.
ankle, you know, it swells up. It's hurt when you walk, so you take the boot off, and you use the snow.
Yeah, the
Like an
snow
ice
was
pack.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and you have to leave your boot somewhere. You can't leave it in the snow because you get all wet or it falls and it gets snow in it. You know,
Yeah,
so you put
maybe-
it on the boot of a tree stump to keep it off the snow.
Maybe he put the snow in the water bladder and then used the belt strap thing to tie it around his ankle.
Yeah,
How
but
far away was the fire from where the boots are?
Across the trail. So, pretend the laptops are dimensions here. You have the tree stump sitting here, then you have a trail. Fire pit is here near a ledge that drops off. Now it's about, I think, 12 or 15 feet from the fire pit to the ledge. So, I mean, you've got enough room to walk around it. But you've got the boots sitting here, and then it's a good 20 feet to the fire pit. So it's not like we took them off right by fire.
okay, but you know, you need to find a spot to create a fire, and he already has a swollen ankle. He can't, you know, has to leave his boot somewhere. So he just leaves it on the stump and, you know, builds a campfire somewhere in a close vicinity, because you can't build a campfire just
Or
randomly or anywhere, you know. You need to...
No, true.
maybe he didn't plan on making the campfire and he took his boots on, made the ice pack, and just went, I'm going to try and walk the rest of the way. And then he realized how cold it would be, so he made the fire. After walking for a little bit.
And you just spent the night at the fire, but, you know, for all we know, he's sleepwalking. thought he fell down the ledge because he thought in his sleepwalking, he
got
thought he
killed.
was home. I'm going downstairs, get out of my bed, go downstairs, go to the bathroom, and But he was sleepwalking. I mean,
Well,
and then as
I've
he's
got
falling, he's like,
more.
oh, this is quite a fall downstairs.
I've got more for it because I don't know if he fell down the ledge or not. Because like some stuff that follows, there's quite a lot of things that are spread out over the next few days that do not make sense. Like the boots sitting by themselves is like
okay, but so far from what we have now, I mean,
okay,
nothing weird,
all right.
nothing strange. I think.
When the boots were found, it is to take note that 2 days before, at the beginning of the search, this area was well searched and combed through with no sign of him. Canine units, once again, like we covered in our part 1, were used at this time and no scent of Aaron was ever picked up. So it's like they just dropped in. Another jar of olives.
These are different olives.
You know, addiction.
Okay, but when they started the search, was bad weather.
Yes.
Yes, so it was snowing.
Okay.
So, and after a couple of days, they start searching and the ice melts, so everything,
How much snow did they get?
Between 18 and 24.
inches. So
Almost 2 foot.
Yeah, 2 feet.
and if he goes somewhere, he has to walk on the snow so he doesn't crack any leaves or branches. So, and when they searched, the snow was gone, so there's no branches broken off or or footprints on the gravel or whatever you want to call it.
So was it like
He
soft?
has to walk in snow.
Do we know if it was like soft snow or if it was icy snow? Because if it was, maybe he slipped from the ice on the snow and fell off the cliff.
They don't say for certain. I'm going with the assumption that it was soft because within a few days the snow was gone. It was melted out. So it was like one of those ones, especially at their elevation, it came in, snowed, and then within a couple days it cleared out.
Depends on where the sun comes from too, of course, during the daylight and temperature.
Okay.
So
on September 22nd, the search ends. 60 trained searchers, 20 canine teams, and 2 helicopters were used. No further sign of Aaron was found at this time. That's 20 days of searching. Now we come to June 22nd of 2015. So here we have the camp. This was the cache that he was supposed to go to. This is where the boots were found. And now up here is going to be a backpack. 9 months have passed. Ranchers out checking fence for spring maintenance. This here is where the river is. So right off into this section here is literally where a bunch of houses sit. So they run this area here for their cows and sheep and whatnot. So out while they are checking fence, they find an orange vest, backpack, food, gun, and a bow.
He had his something colorful.
Yes, he had his something colorful.
Was in his pocket.
The backpack was leaning against a tree, standing upright along with the bow behind it. For all accounts and purpose, it was placed with intent. At this location that they found the bag and the rifle, you can see a road and homes for help. So whoever, the backpack wasn't just like tossed, like thrown off next to a tree in a hurry. It was placed like if you're going to go out and take a leak. You're sat here, everything's propped up, that way you can come back to it. From that location, you can look straight down in, and there's no like, well, I have to look behind this branch, look over here. You can see homes, you can see a road, you can see help.
okay, during the day.
Well, you would see lights for the homes at night.
I know people leave their lights on all night long.
Street lights.
I doubt there's street lights over there
No,
in
you're
the
not
middle
going
of
to have
nowhere.
street lights, no.
No, so it's cloudy sky, so no moon. It's dark. You can't see if there's a house or even if there's a river or a road.
Okay.
So maybe he just took off his backpack and to rest.
Well, then the question is, he covered from the camp to the cache was supposed to be like pretty much a 2-day trip, like a 1 day in to get up there, come back in the morning. From the boots to the backpack is 9 months.
Yeah.
Why did it take 9 months? If we have searchers combing from this area straight down, how come there's still no sign of him whatsoever, and then the backpack just appears?
What's the backpack camo?
Why did he leave his boots then?
Yeah, I know. I get that. I don't get that either. Why not take the boots? But like I said,
because he's walked from the boots to here. All this is now barefoot, or with socks too.
Yes, just very wet socks.
Maybe he made leaves.
Maybe that's why he made the fire. He walked a bit and he's like, "Oh, my socks are wet. I should dry these by a fire."
Right? Fuck the boots. We don't need them.
I don't care if you broke your foot, cut it off, and put it back on.
Regardless, my boots are going back on.
It'll make a foot then.
Well, maybe the night before they left, he saw a commercial from Walmart. Hey, we got boots on sale, so he thought.
He got so excited.
Yeah,
he's like, "Oh,
my
I don't
wife
need
can't
these
complain
boots."
now. I know I need new boots because I lost mine. I mean, you
Or
know.
he just really wanted the boots, so he's like, "I'm gonna lose my boots on this trip so I can get
I'm
them."
leaving the boots.
Exactly.
I will leave other things before the boots.
So that was when the backpack was found. Like I said, intact. Backpack was found and everything. What? Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go.
Backpack was found. That was June 22nd, 2015. They redeployed searchers for the area.
Yeah.
Nothing was found again.
Okay.
August 8th, 2016. We are
So a
now
little over a year
23 months since the disappearance.
No, he lost his dick.
You what?
Elvis.
Oh my God. You did say what I thought you said. Never mind.
His unit. That's the cousin of Elvis.
He whipped it out and then he lost it.
That's my fault. He lost it. He shouldn't have whipped it out. He should have took it out calmly and discreetly.
See, if you had it out all the time, like I do, it'd be alright.
It will always point you in the right direction.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah.
Or he would have gotten so cold he wouldn't have noticed that he lost it. Half of my olive.
Hence why he should have kept his boots on. Then his feet would have stayed warm. Then that would have kept the rest of his body warm.
No, I said if he had kept it out the whole time.
Yeah, but if you keep your shoes on, the rest of your body can stay warm. It can. I'm serious.
Maybe you
Is
wanted
that why
to
you
use
always
it
have
as a
your
Buddha
shoes on?
holder.
Have some
What?
Maybe you wanted to use it as a Buddha holder, so it wouldn't get.
Well, he
nothing to
forgot
smell.
the boots to put.
True.
I would lose the rest of my clothing before I left my boots
That's
anywhere.
true. You walking around butt ass naked
With my boots on.
So 23 months since his disappearance, riders from a dude ranch find a human skull lying under a tree. Now there's nothing odd about how it's found, just one of the...
Yes, nothing odd about a human skull just sitting here.
Besides it being a human skull, you
No,
just
I love that
have
on the
a
ranch.
very
Hey,
white...
Jake, look at that! There's a skull!
Well, quit pointing to it and
I'm gonna ask it all the time! Yeah, okay.
Move along.
Nothing to see here.
Don't worry about how it got
Maybe
there.
that's why it wasn't discovered sooner, because it was so common in the area to just find
Well,
human skulls.
Maybe they had a Halloween party. You know, use that as a candle holder.
And they thought, oh no, we must have forgotten one of the decorations.
I'm just throwing out here options. You know, everything is
No, you're good.
a reasonable explanation.
Searchers would now comb the area again to find some of the remains. A cell phone and a light jacket would be found. These would be confirmed to be the remains of Aaron's. Here now. His remains would be found a total of 11 miles from his last location. 6 miles from where his boots were originally found. No cause of death could be determined due to only finding like the skull and the bones or whatever. They did not find any claw marks and any like teeth marks on the bones that they had been chewed. So it stands to reason that it doesn't mean that nothing ate him. I mean, obviously you had small animals that did, but they're not going to leave like what a bear, cougar, or something like that's going to leave on there.
Or they couldn't have been sitting there for long enough for an animal to come over and like try and chew on it.
Right. It means that he'd been sitting there. More likely you had, like, vultures, birds picking him apart, and like I said, smaller animals, that there was nothing left. So, from camp to here was the distance that he traveled. At this junction, they do not understand why he went the way he did, because remember his GPS location put him over like in this area when they radioed. When you come to this junction, if you're following the river, you're going the wrong way. You should be at this junction. There's a small stream that comes off here because there's this lake up here. There's a small stream here. You should be, there's like a wide spot, and you make your turn to go up the hill to start going to the cache. If you're going in this direction, you're going the wrong way because it's a wide ass river, and like we said, by where the boots are left, it cliffs off. You're not supposed to be near a cliff. You're in the wrong direction. Why are you continuing going the way you're going? You're going the wrong way.
Okay, have they been there before?
No, all of us behind, huh?
What did she do?
I got it on the floor and I ate it still. I think I ripped it on my pants and I ate it and he watched me.
Oh, I'm not judging. I'm just saying. No, all of us behind.
No, but it could be somebody with not so good intent either. You know, people living there off the grid, hiding from other people.
Okay.
Bush people.
No, besides
They would have taken the boots.
maybe
You got nicer boots than me. I'm taking the boots.
Maybe he wants to pick me, but you know, people live off the grid, don't have good intentions. You know,
Right? Looking for love in all the wrong places.
yeah. I need a sleeping bag. You don't need it. You're gonna be dead in 2.5 seconds anyway. So I can use a cell phone. I mean, there's 20 million options how he can, you know, pass away. I mean, where the remains are found, there was a river, right?
Yes.
Okay, maybe.
Not where the remains were found. The remains, it's not like he was found on the river or near it. It was a good hike away from the river.
Okay.
You could see the river from where they found them.
Okay.
Yeah, she's eating little trees.
I got broccoli now. I ran out of olives.
So you think it was foul play?
I say murder.
You say murder?
Yeah, I think somebody bushwhacked him.
Then why did the stuff start appearing then?
Okay.
No. Here's the thing.
Well,
There's this-
maybe somebody heard it on the news. Hey, somebody's missing.
Okay.
Oh no, that's the guy in my basement.
Yeah, I never go, you know, somewhere, and I haven't the backpack with me, or you know, they start asking questions. Hey, the same color backpack as.
Why would you just burn it then?
Maybe it was the
free
bush
backpack.
people.
Why did they burn
They
it?
brought it back.
Even if it's the bush people, why don't they burn it?
Yeah.
They were trying
The
to
bush
help.
people, they're not all there.
If you burn items, then you attract attention. Hey, there's smoke.
You're attracting more attention by dropping it off every so many months because you're having people come in the area now and they're researching the area.
Okay,
so what
but-
if they see smoke?
Okay, but then if I drop the, you know, I kill somebody, 3 months later I drop off a backpack.
Okay.
Yeah? So somebody's questioning me. Oh, I never saw that backpack. I don't know what that is. They don't have proof that you had the backpack. So if you keep the backpack and you go, you know, into a town grocery store, hey, you know, people will remember that something happened. So yeah, that guy had a yellow backpack or a camo backpack similar to you, to yours. So then you're going to start asking questions.
Right. I don't disagree. Like you don't want to be taking
And in the
that.
meantime, you know, like I said, the person who did it, killed him or whatever, might be living on the upper side of the camp, but just, you know, hikes here to get rid of the evidence. Because everybody thinks, oh, well, around where the evidence is, something happened there. But in the meantime, the person lives on the other end.
Yeah, what if there's
You know
just
what I
some
mean?
really creepy guy that lives in a cabin in the woods that just kills people, keeps it, and then goes, go over there instead? Because, like, maybe he heard people, like, looking and getting too close, so he's like, what if I put the stuff over here?
Yeah, like she said, maybe he was walking on somebody else's property, and I don't know how people are in the property lines, but hey, you're on my property, get out of here.
Right.
Shoot first, ask questions later. I mean...
But I'm assuming that's, like, probably state game lands?
Yes.
So maybe
it's state game lands from...
And it could be a hunting accident, too.
It could be.
Somebody thought it was an elk. We shot him.
True.
And boom, we shot him. And then, I don't... embarrass is the wrong word, but, he was,
No, in the heat of the moment, you don't know.
No, you didn't know what to do, so...
I mean, maybe.
Maybe he took the body to his camp because you just can't leave it there because then, people will find it eventually. So he left it somewhere.
So then he hauled the body out of there from where the boots were found.
Yeah.
And no one was able to track him down, your killer. Nobody was able to come across any traces or whatever of him.
No,
I can't get behind that.
But how are you going to do that with they went elk hunting, right? So if you shoot an elk, you have to get it down somehow.
No, I'm not saying that somebody physically can't haul it out. But if you're gonna haul an elk out, people are going to be able to see like a blood trail. They're going to see like the remnants of you pushing down grass, sticks, twigs, or even the trail you're using.
Because what he said earlier with the snow
Yeah, it covered it at all.
The snow only lasted for about a day or two, and then it was out of there.
Okay, but like she
said...
Strong
man, then!
Okay, but the blood is gone. Because the snow soaked it all up.
Right. But there was no tracks leading out.
Okay, but if it happened before the snow came... You know what I mean?
Yeah, but a lot of things had to happen then very quickly, and
I don't know.
I've
dragged deers out of the woods. And it's not fun. I can only imagine trying to fucking yeet a human out of there.
Yeah, but I think an elk is a little bit more different and more difficult than a human being. You can basically put a human being over your shoulder.
But then you're also carrying all this gear.
No, you can put that in the bushes and come back for it later.
I'm not coming back.
But they didn't find... No, he couldn't have came back for the equipment because they searched that.
Okay, but how many times when there's people are searching for something, okay, I understand they use a grid, yeah?
No, true. You can miss.
You can miss stuff.
Right.
Nothing is 100% when
that's a lot of gear to be left behind.
First of all, I assume that the gear was camo. Second of all, you got all the bushes where you can hide it under. And nobody is, meticulously every inch.
Agreed. Right.
And like you said, they followed the most the trail that was most used. Yeah. So if I go up a ledge, 10 feet high, and put the equipment there, nobody will see it and will find it. Only you know where it is. And then
you're telling me for where the boots are, you're gonna walk this guy out, then come all the way back for all the equipment, then walk all the way back and not be seen once.
Maybe they saw him.
Where's the river?
Okay, hey, how's it going? Because they can't prove anything. They can't find a body.
Where the river is.
Where the river
actually goes from
the camp here,
and
it follows right along with his trail. It gets wider as he comes out this way.
So
you're not going to assume that, okay, you come across somebody, you killed them.
Maybe after he kills this guy, he just throws all of his stuff in the river, and it just so happens to wash up over there.
This is up on the top of a hill, and like I said, it was placed there. It didn't just like pile up.
Well,
I think there's somebody trying to get rid of evidence. Because as long as he got the evidence, he reminds himself too that he shot somebody, right? So if he gets...
Well, okay.
So after a few months, you're so mentally, hey, I killed somebody, blah, 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 blah. Yeah? So then he thinks, if I get rid of the evidence, if I get rid of the items, then I don't see it, I can forget about it. I can live on.
See, I can get like in the heat of the moment. That explains like, I guess the boots are sat there side by side. They're not just like tossed off.
Okay, but
leaving that to the side. I can get your theory of like hunting accident happened in the heat of the moment. But we went from everything being in the heat of the moment to like what Nick said. You're telling me that we took our time to now, in the heat of a moment, I shot somebody. Let's strategically now hide all this stuff so I can hide or haul this body out.
Okay, but what it could have been too? Okay, he did hit all the equipment, right? The backpack, the cell phone, and so he hit it, right?
Right.
Okay, but he forgot where he hit it. He forgot. He forgot the exact location where he hit it. So, and then, a few months later, now I remember where I did hide the equipment. So he goes back and get rid of it.
Well, they go back a couple times. Because he has to go back the first time to put the book bag back out.
Yeah.
And then he comes back out later to put the remains and the cell phone and the jacket.
Yeah. I mean, the jacket and the remains are all at the same time.
Oh no, that's a lot.
Yeah, but just to call it mysterious and, whatever supernatural or something else happened with him, no.
Oh no.
No. I just think...
Who knows, maybe fucking Bigfoot came out and went out there.
It's going to have to be Bigfoot to carry all this shit out.
Yeah, but there were no marks on the bone, so, Bigfoot didn't have his false teeth in. I mean, come on.
I don't know. Like, I'm not bringing shit back to, like, where I committed a crime. I'm going to burn it all somewhere.
Okay, but...
See, I can't say out loud what I would do because I'm already incriminating myself for future. I'm just saying, no, I would not. This is not how I would do.
Jake would do exactly what I said I would do. Just so everybody knows.
Okay,
I wouldn't do a fire, though. The fire...
Okay, but
the
if you
smoke
shoot somebody
would be
by
suspicious.
accident and you don't want to get caught,
If you don't want to get caught, you don't keep going back to the same location.
I'm just
location, it's the
throwing
same
in the
location.
river.
You've already had people in the vicinity searching for him. If you're going to ditch the book bag, then go pick... You have all of this area up here.
Okay, but yes, okay. People are starting from this end searching here, right?
Right.
And they didn't find anything.
Right.
So there is no excuse to go search there for a second time.
But there's houses that are up there. There's people in that vicinity. Somebody's going to come across the book bag.
Okay, but it's dark. You do that in the dark, and you don't say, people can't see
What
it.
if you do it in the daylight? Then what?
Even then, okay, but then, you should start hiking there. Oh, you forgot his book bag.
Not everybody has your eyesight, dude. Some people can.
Like, why are you hiking at night, sir?
Well, I don't know.
That's not suspicious.
I don't know. I don't
Got your little headlamp on.
I don't like the miner's helmet.
Like, yeah, this doesn't look weird at all. I'm gonna leave now.
I don't know. But saying that something mysterious happens, no.
Not really.
Just because you don't know what happened, it doesn't mean there's supernatural things or...
No, I'm not going to say it has to be something supernatural, but it's very odd.
Why is it odd? There's millions of reasons.
You need to drop him off in the woods, barefoot, and let's see how far he gets.
Okay.
I was in the army, sir.
Even better. So you should know how to handle gear then.
No. I was a pencil pusher, so don't even...
What?
A pencil pusher.
Means you worked office jobs.
Office job. I defended your freedom, young lady, so please.
You never forgot your boots, did you?
Once or twice.
My stomach hurts.
Because I just rolled out of bed to my office. It was the same building, so I didn't need my boots.
Alright. That's it for Aaron.
But like I said, there's so many million reasons what could have happened. So to say that's odd,
That's not common.
It's odd.
No.
It's very odd. You're forgetting the boots and the timeline.
Maybe we're going to get more help out of her than I thought we were going to get.
There's too many months from start to finish.
No.
Yes, there's too many months.
The boots, he had a sprained ankle. Simple. He had to keep his boots dry, so he put it on
There's too many between. The boots are odd, and there's too many months. Too much time has passed between start to finish. It is very odd.
What's
Okay.
that?
Chocolate chips.
Very
Okay.
I'll
odd.
take a handful.
Okay.
There's my input.
Okay.
Okay.
No.
My stomach hurts a little bit. I'm gonna just keep
I
eating.
don't know. No.
She is going to be helpful in my arguments. I knew this shit. I knew this.
Why would I miss?
That's why we get along together
Yeah,
so
well,
well.
I question that severe. Are you all right?
No.
Yeah, okay.
We have Andy's mints too.
If you need help, like tap your finger or
Okay,
something.
I'll let you know.
To diffuse a little bit of your arguments
Yes.
with the whole scent thing, I threw this case in that is a part of the missing 411 grouping. I don't want to hear it out of you. I don't.
Is she a midget?
So
No.
That's an old person.
Well, I got a bit of chocolate on your finger. Sorry.
Melvin Nadel, age 61. Yeah, eat your chocolate chips and shut up.
Hey, that's not that old. I'm 52, so please.
He went missing September 6, 2009, just outside the Santa Fe National Park. Easy.
Isn't that California?
No, it's New Mexico.
Oh, I don't know.
No, Santa Fe is in New Mexico.
It sounds
So-
like it's in Mexico.
He joined two friends for a hunt at their camp. He had a knee injury from stepping in a gopher hole a few days prior. So this goes to the fact that he's not going to move quickly, Nicholas.
That poor gopher.
Like, it can't just be me. Why are all these old people going in the woods injured?
Why don't you go with someone else?
Like, I don't understand.
Very simple explanation.
I'm with you. What,
Maybe they thought that tree hugging would help them.
if you're gonna be an
Apparently
old
not.
person and you're gonna go hunt, and you have to at least
Right? You have to have a
be
buddy.
capable.
He did. He went with two others.
They
There
gotta
was
be
three of
attached to
them.
your hip at all times.
You know, you each got a bad hip, so it like balances out.
Why do I? Why?
You don't got pictures for this one?
No, I don't have pictures for this.
Like, you're
one.
gonna sit. How old was he?
61.
61. He's got a bad
His
will.
name is Melvin.
Melvin. We're gonna put Melvin out here in the woods.
What's his last name? Melvin
Half
Nadel.
handicapped. What if he gets attacked by like a bear? How's he get in the way? Listen, old people. You're hurt, you know, half handicapped.
Stay out of the woods.
Hunt from your vehicle. It's not safe out there for you.
Or hunt with
And I'm
just
gonna
a
leave it at
circle
that.
of people.
See, and that is now common sense.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
You proved you wrong with this one.
It's so hard for people to understand that.
So let's hear about Melvin.
Melvin Nadel, Mr. Nadel, what he got going on here?
Well, he didn't hunt from his vehicle, so he didn't abide by your advice.
Did he
No.
whip out something bright?
When they found him, he got nibbled on by the chipmunks. No, it was Elvin, wasn't it?
His wife was interviewed during the missing persons, and she told the officers that Melvin was not a fan of walking. Shut up! I swear to God.
How did he hurt his knee in the gopher hole?
I don't know. don't say how. They just said that he stepped in a gopher hole a few days prior and he twisted his knee.
Who goes hunting if you don't even like walking? Did he run? Was that a substitute for walking?
You go to a blind.
I'm sure he wasn't blind.
Anyhow, he wasn't a fan of walking, according to his wife. When he arrived to go hunting with his friends, he went to a location of trees that was no more than 100 to 150 yards away from the truck that they had arrived in. The other two friends walked in the opposite directions towards the peak of the mountain. They would then return just after dark. They would find no sign of Melvin. So, where they parked their vehicle was just like a small hill. He would walk off the 100 yards to this clump of trees. The other ones, they walked off in the other directions. Like I said, he wasn't a fan of it, so he was going to the trees to make a makeshift blind out of some branches and whatnot. That way he could like hide from the deer. When they walked over to the gentleman who came back, his friends, when they went down to the trees thinking, okay, he hasn't come back, he should have been here by now, we'll walk down, did he fall asleep or something? They did find a makeshift blind in the area that he had walked to along the tree line. Now the reason, this is why then I put this in here, when the rescue crews came, there was no snowstorm, nothing washed away any scent, there was no rain. When the rescue crews came to the scene, dogs would lead them right to the blind. They would go from the truck, dead beeline straight to the blind to where Melvin was. After that, there was no scent. They couldn't be picked up in any location. It was just 1 point from the truck to the blind. The dogs couldn't find anything.
Okay.
There was no sign of him or his gear was ever found. The search lasted for 6 days. They used hundreds of volunteers and 2 helicopters were used in the search. No trace of Mel was ever found. No remains, nothing. It's literally like he just got picked up and disappeared. So yes, why I picked him is because he had stepped in the hole. He wasn't a fan of walking, was already injured, so he's not going to go far. So if he does go in any direction, he should be easy to trace, but like I said, we're not finding anything.
He found a wheelchair and just wheeled away. He went, screw these guys, leaving me, a crippled old man in a blind by myself. I'm just gonna fucking whoop. And maybe while he got too excited while wheeling, it was so dark, he just went woo right off a cliff.
I shouldn't have got out of bed this morning. I really should have.
Probably got kidnapped by them bush people, thrown in the back of a truck, and that was the end of them.
Maybe.
He probably had gold teeth too. That's what the leprechaun used at the end of the rainbow. That's how
That's
they get the
why
gold.
they targeted Melvin.
Yeah. Must be. But
Yes.
What do you think happened?
I'm not allowed to say
It's
I'm
like how
serious,
in
no?
Goosebumps that one kid has the silver teeth and that's why the werewolf doesn't like him. Maybe it was like the opposite with Melvin and the leprechauns.
They came to snatch his ass because he had gold in there.
You thought you could have from us!
Yeah, he wanted to be gangster.
See, it's like the gold in that horrible drawing right there.
They just come out of the woods and be like, you're coming with us, Melvin. God.
Maybe.
To sign
Okay,
one,
but there was no
gold
scent.
teeth.
Okay, how long was till they thought, okay, he's missing?
It was just a couple hours. They did not wait long. Being that it was so...
Okay, but and then the search party with when the dog showed up. Yeah. So at night it's getting wet. You know, dog, dew, whatever. You know, in the morning the dew raises the scent. It raises the scent. So the dog can't find
only in patches. It doesn't wipe it out clearly. Otherwise, if that would be something more common, then they wouldn't keep using dogs day after day.
Okay.
You're here.
Okay.
Well, the fact that he's just gone. There's nothing.
Right.
It's
There's
just
no
like-
trace of him. Like it.
Yeah, maybe.
To me, it's similar like with the boots that they're there, and there's no trace of the person around it. Like they found, he clearly went to his spot that he said he was going to go to the hunt, and then just nothing.
Okay.
No tracks in, no tracks out, and like the dogs can't track him down, and nobody's spotting him. And he's not somebody who likes going hiking. He's not like a runner or anything like that. So he should be like, I got hurt, or you suckers come down here and get me, I'm done with this shit, we're done. Nothing.
The bush people have improved their strategies.
Maybe. I don't know.
Are you a bush person?
At the end of the documentary, for at least this part one, the one that's done by Dave Pulaski, he has thrown in, because, just in general, to covering our bases, like, you give good points for there being a hunting accident, leprechauns, bush people.
Hey.
Leprechauns are bush people.
I know, for some reason I picture a leprechaun, I see him coming out of like a stump. It's like the hole in it. Like
that, and with gnomes too, just coming out of just random
that's
plants.
what I picture it when I see them. Like, that's what goes on in my head anyway.
We're taking you guys on a hike this time. I'm going to have some fun with this.
You think we'll find some fairies?
Maybe.
Yay.
Oh, don't take us to go hunting. Take us to the 7 gates of hell. See if we can go past number 5.
Actually, she got me a new book that covers all of York County, and it is all of the
I found it at
stuff that
Goodwill. It was
happens in
$3.
there.
Okay.
We're going to be doing we're going to have some fun with that, and I'm going to research some stuff. We may take some road trips now.
I'm all about that. The problem is, like, I'm not doing anything illegal.
We can see the gate and go from there. Maybe we'll find some other stuff, but
like, I'm not going back to jail. Like, I'm not doing it.
don't worry about it.
I need to wash my hair. What? I was taking a selfie and my hair looks weird.
Anyhow, at the end of the documentary, he adds in one of these cases that is not a missing person, but it's a situation of really unexplained. And I can see the connection of why he put it in, because he knew of the story, and it doesn't seem like a far stretch of a possibility of maybe what's happening to people. So the case is of Jan Maccabee, and like I said, it's not a missing person, it's just an event. So it happened on August 29th, 2010. It happened in Lima, Ohio. I didn't do for on the screen, but I have a printout for all you guys.
Oh,
you can see it on there. So, it happens in Lima, Ohio. Jan would go out for an evening hunt on her property. The backwoods on their property of her and her husband was known as the 15-acre woods. Jane would sit in a tree, stand roughly 14 foot, up off the ground.
Question.
Yes.
Does she have a tree stand, or did she just climb it and sit on a branch?
She has a tree stand.
Okay. Because I do the second part. I just sit on a branch sometimes.
She said it was a clear afternoon, very fair weather, and she could hear the high school band a little over 1.5 miles away. That's why I have that printout. I did snapshots of the video during the documentary, and how I lined them up is this. I didn't snapshot this one to like combine it all, but scale-wise, this is the correct distance from where she was at to where the high school is going to be playing. Now, why are we concerned about the high school? Because this is actually going to play in the part of... It's actually 2 events all on the same day. Hers happens first, and then we have an event up at the high school that happens just a few minutes later. Heard the high school band playing. This would be later determined that the high school band was out practicing that day. After roughly a half an hour sitting in the woods would go deathly silent. You've gone out in the woods walking with her. You know how there's noises whenever.
Yeah.
Have you ever been out that there's absolutely nothing? No wind, no leaves, no birds, nothing, no squirrels.
Oh, and the storm is coming.
Right, when everything's tense. Right, so when the surroundings know when there's something off, everything goes quiet. So she had that happen to her. No sign of wildlife, and no sound could be heard. Jane thought her eyes were blurry for a second, so she wiped them. After she wiped her eyes, the blur was still there. So right away she writes this off. And then the blur began to move from one tree to the next at eye level with her. Jane realized that it was not her eyesight, but she was seeing something, some sort of what she described as distorted plastic wrap the size of a person moving from tree to tree at her eye level. When they talk about it in the documentary, when I was watching this, I thought of The Predator.
I can see it.
When they talk about like...
I've never seen that book yet.
So we'll have to watch that.
All I know is it's a Fortnite skin.
It's supposed to be...
Go back to sleep.
What do you call that?
What?
When you're becoming like invisible or something. Translucent, yes, thank you.
Translucent.
It was that type of image, like you can become invisible. The Predator has that he can like hide himself in plain sight. She did not say it was the Predator. Mm-hmm. She described it, like she said, as the plastic wrapped. Not even someone covered in it, but just that was
That'd
plastic
be absolutely
wrapped.
terrifying if it is the Predator.
Right. So I'm like, okay. So she would continue to watch this item move from tree to tree until it disappeared. She tried to take a photo of it. She would then say that she remained in the tree stand until sundown. When she gets interviewed, even she can't explain of why she stayed, because had I seen this,
she's in that tree for a
it's
fucking long time.
in one direction, I'm getting down as quickly, and I don't care where I'm supposed to be, I'm going in the opposite direction. I'm like, why you stayed there for a long time afterwards?
And if it starts following me, I'm gonna just lay on the ground and be like, take me.
If you're waiting for dusk to come, whatever it is, it could loop back around, coming from another direction. I'm like, why are you sitting there? And that, she had no answer for that. And she said in any other time, if she went out into the woods, something would happen. She would then try to make a plan that we need to move, whatever. She stayed there, almost like she was dumbfounded and dazed. She couldn't explain it. So later, through an email to her husband, they would later be told that over at the high school, roughly about the same time Jane said the item disappeared, the band witnessed a ball of light come out over the field from the trees. 30 to 40 foot high, 30 to 40 high schoolers, witnessed this. They said it was just before dark. They reported seeing a light above the tree line like a candle, orange in color. The light would wax and wane till it zapped out in front of their eyes. Now, she hadn't even told her husband about what she saw in the woods until after she got home, they had dinner, and then her husband received the email from her friend because one of the kids had said what had happened, so they emailed her husband because they were friends, and that's when she said, oh, I didn't tell you what I saw in the woods, and then the two stories merged. She said about the photo that she took. The photo that she took didn't work. In the photo that Jane took, the camera works completely fine before and after the event, but a blurry photo of a distorted figure can be seen in the picture that she took of the event that occurred. When her husband looked at the picture size, it was 400 by 528. The camera's pre-operating settings only go from 1200 by 1600, 768 by 1024, and 480 by 640. The settings of 400 by 528 is not an option in the camera and only appears one time for the photo taken in the event. So when she went to take a photo of this, somehow, for some reason, her camera went to complete arbitrary settings that it has never gone to before or since. You cannot preset it to it. Took the photo. Majority of the photo is blurred, like distorted, but you can still see that there is something distorted even more within that. And then afterwards, the phone worked completely fine.
Okay.
So it's nothing that she took wrong with it. The thought is whatever she took a picture of somehow manipulated her device from recording it.
It went, ooh, my camera now.
Kind of, maybe.
That's that alien technology.
Don't you dare.
That is the premise for that, because there are documentations of when someone has an encounter that, whether it be extraterrestrial, paranormal, that electronic devices get affected by it a lot of times.
Yes.
Don't yell at me.
But lightning, you got those lightning bolts. It's not just, straight lightning coming down, but you have actual, I don't want to say
Lightning balls.
fireballs. That lightning turn into a fireball.
It's ball lightning, yes.
That happens when Mother
So-
Nature whips it out.
And then,
Here come the balls. I'm listening.
You've seen lightning firsthand. So.
Yes, I've seen bolts. I have never myself seen ball lightning. It doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I'm not saying that. I've
So-
never seen.
Mother Nature's
and when
balls.
those balls, with those balls, yeah. Electricity.
Shaft.
Electricity
That's what
tends.
bolts are.
There's a lot of more electricity, which is a regular lightning, right? So everything tends up. Right?
We'll go with that.
So, and that, we have electronics and lightning with electricity. High voltage electricity, of course, it messes up the electronics.
Well, most people who record like thunderstorms, lightning, and whatnot, they're able to record that. But no, you're not wrong. I mean that.
Okay, but lightning. Okay, it sets off electricity. But if you have that,
Right, look at
how
that.
you call it, the lightning ball.
It's just ball lightning.
Yeah, ball lightning. Okay, but electricity inside of that is more than with just a regular lightning.
I think this one looks
That's
very
why-
realistic.
Yeah.
That's why it looks like a candle or like a fire,
Okay,
and they move.
right.
So-
That would be what the height. Okay.
Yes, what the high school said. Okay, but still the surroundings, the electricity is still way higher than with normal lighting. So, and if you put electronics in front of like a magnet, put it with a strong magnet, put electronics near a strong magnet, it get messed up, right?
Yeah.
And then what could happen that the phone got turned off, or just reset itself and boom.
So you're thinking
back to
even
normal.
she saw like some type of form of ball lightning?
Yeah. At least the electricity moving.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay,
Because
so the predator is a
the
form of
electricity, the wave of it travels, right? It doesn't just stay on one spot. The electricity,
Maybe my
it expands, right? You know what I'm trying to say?
No, I
It
get what
ebbs
you're
away, in the. It's like.
But in the order that it happened, in your description, I could understand if they saw the ball lightning first, and it was dissipating, like you're saying, and that's what she was then seeing was the electricity moving away.
Okay.
But it happened reverse.
Okay, but they say, at the same time. But what is the same time? It could be 5 minutes difference too. I would say that's the same time too.
Well,
Because
yeah,
you're
we
not
could
gonna
be
look at the
talking
clock,
about two
at
separate.
7:27 it happened.
Right, we
No.
could be talking about two separate events, but they're going with I witnessed this at this
Oh, no.
time right before dark. When you match it up in the direction and the distance
Could
that
even
it was.
could even be one event. Because if this is the high school, this is the lady, and the lightning ball is right here between them, then yeah. And then it's like when you put you drop a stone in water, you see the waves upping away.
Right.
So it's the same with then electricity. If you have a lightning ball, the electricity ups away. You know what I'm trying to say?
You
So-
love that phrase. You really do.
Well, sometimes it's hard for me to explain what I'm trying to.
No, I get that,
Convey.
but you.
I mean, English is not my first language, so. And you guys don't understand my language, so.
No, it's not his first language. No.
So where are we at on this one? The balls. Of lightning.
Yes, Mother Nature's balls.
Well, it just keeps
That-
growing and growing.
That's all I have. That was put
No,
in
but-
for. Yes.
Yes, I know.
You don't have to say no.
Yes, that was it.
Yeah,
That
There's
is
no more.
all I have. That's the wrap up of part 2. So.
But. Yeah, sorry, go ahead. Finish your sentence. Finish your sentence.
That's all the information. That's all I have. So
you really think there was something supernatural?
What do I? Is that what you're asking? What do I think out of it?
I can give you my opinion, but what
we've gotten yours.
We know your opinion. You couldn't make it clearer. So what is your opinion? Have some alterations.
So mine doesn't make sense, and y'all's
No. Okay, I'm not going to say that yours does not make sense because if a few things, not a lot, but if a few things would have a little bit more explanation to them, they would be valid. But there's just some holes in it that it's really taking a stretch to hit each point.
Okay, but to me, those incidences, there's steps. Then this, then that, then this, then that. Okay, right. I might go from step 1 to step 3, and I forget about step 2. But at the end, I'll get to the last step. You know what I mean? It's just because I don't explain.
You're doing it right now.
Oh, okay. It's hard to explain. It's just.
Well, try.
We'll take a minute. Regroup.
Yeah, you take a minute. Let's move to you. What do you think about this situation?
About the people going missing? Or the balls of lightning? Which part?
Overall.
Like I said, I just put what we can call the ball lightning. I threw that in there because it is a very odd event. So,
like her seeing that whatever figure, the balls of lightning. I don't know. That could be anything. Mm-hmm. Her being tired. There could be actually something there.
Yeah, right.
I do not know. The people going missing. I think the one guy probably did get murdered. Yeah. There's foul play.
The first guy or the cripple?
No, the first guy.
Cripple. That was aliens.
No, you have something with crippled and old people, so it might be in your basement.
Now,
don't get me wrong.
Where was the what was his name? Melvin?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where was that location?
Santa Fe, New Mexico.
He probably saw something he shouldn't have saw and have thrown in the back of a truck. It's probably drug deals.
Yeah, but
in New Mexico? I don't know. There's definitely foul play there. But, like
Should
I said.
I ask my Spanish teacher about that?
There you go. You could ask.
Ask her what cartels he belongs to.
What do you think?
For the last one, I don't think it was ball of lightning. I think maybe the high schoolers could have seen it, but I looked at pictures, and normally with the balls of lightning, there's normally like a giant bolt attached to it, so I feel like it wouldn't look like a flame to it, because you said it was like a candle like flame.
They do describe it as a candle flame blinking in and out, yes.
I don't think it would be a lightning bolt that she saw or they saw, but her, it could either be something supernatural, or it could be like one of those situations where like you're low on iron or something and your vision's blurry in some spots.
Okay.
Because I know sometimes when I stand up I can't fucking see. So she could have just had a situation like that, or there could have been something there. And people going missing, that's their own fucking issue. So they need to be better prepared.
No, old people just need to hunt for vehicles. And it'll be safe.
Yeah, they just put like camo over the vehicle and cut the ignition and go, okay, I'm ready.
Hey, $1 million idea. Turn radio flyer carts and hunting vehicles for old people.
Man up and go rabbit hunting. Just don't get caught.
Just gonna say, I'm like, I think there's some rules
there
about
are.
that.
No, get like a...
I mean, I would never do that because I'm a law-abiding citizen. But you do what you will, people. I'm not condoning breaking the law, but...
Nicholas resides in Huntington, Pennsylvania.
Or just drive somewhere and hope you hit some roadkill eventually and say you shot it. just take it home, put a bullet through it, and go, look what I shot!
Have you allowed your thought to form?
About?
That would be a no.
I don't think anything is supernatural. Anything is, I don't know, it's just, something's gonna have 20 million reasons why things happen. So,
Okay.
yeah, that it's weird or odd, no.
When you follow me back in here?
Like I said, just because you don't know the reason why it happened, you know, there still could be a reasonable explanation why it happened. You just don't know the whole story.
No, you're true, yes. I don't know. I don't know myself which one it is. I do believe some of them, not just with the ones we covered today, but the ones that we did in part 1, some of them could be
I mean, until you actually talk to those people who witnessed it, you know, and
Well,
get
yes, you're not-
their account, I mean.
right. I mean, it's all speculation that we go off of. Could it be foul play? Yes. But just like with the ones that, even with the ones, I know we make fun of them, but the ones who are older, they go missing without a trace whatsoever. The guy that we did in part 1 where he had the missing eye and everything, he was like all injured. No matter how skilled you are, you're still going to make a mistake that you're not trying to hide. You want to be found.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you just go disappearing? I'm not going to go into all of them because you already said you don't believe in it. We can do it for another time. But there is stories and theories of appearing and disappearing portals. And people have accounts of missing time, that they went walking somewhere and they literally thought it was 5 minutes and it was 6 hours.
Like my whole bus to nowhere urban legend.
Doesn't that work with like abduction too, with aliens, like time gaps?
Some of them do. That's why I'm not. I mean, we could do this on an episode if you want.
I mean,
but some of them do have to do with aliens, and then some of them is like it's a portal that just appears that I was here. And I have no account for this lapse of time. Like, I literally thought it was 5 minutes. But there's also been the other...
Me doing these episodes. I just tune out.
They are in one spot, felt that they were doing something for an hour, 2 hours, and it's only been 5 minutes. Now, we've all experienced that with work, that you think something takes longer than it does. But then when they have that, they're literally, they started here, and I'm way over here. Their clothes, their environment... all indicates that they haven't traveled, but for some reason they're way over here, like miles from where they should be. Their shoes aren't muddy, like they're not soaking wet, even though it's pouring down rain here, that they would have traveled through it, and then there's no trail. Somehow they've zapped over. So could some of these missing persons be that they went into these portals and they didn't come back out?
The way I see it, you know, you hear one news story, oh, we saw a UFO, and all of a sudden 20 million people saw UFOs.
No, yeah, I'm not going to disagree with that, yeah.
The same with that. They heard a story. They want to have their 15 minutes of fame.
Oh, so they go missing on purpose?
Oh, no, I don't want to say not missing on purpose, but, you know, or something, you know, a portal. I went through a portal because I was doing this and all of a sudden I'm here. You know, they get a little bit of attention. And I think most of it.
Yeah, this portal stuff, you might be onto something.
No.
There's a lot of times when I'm drinking, and then all of a sudden I wake up the next day.
And you don't know what happened. Yeah, I mean...
I dug my own grave for that one.
I'm just saying that you could be onto something.
And you should know that.
Just sitting in my bed for the next thing I know, a portal sucks me in.
Yeah, the portal was a Jack Daniels bottle.
And,
I mean, yeah.
And then I just wake and it spits me out the next day. And I'm like, oh God, what happened?
You whipped it out too fast again.
That's usually what happens, but...
See, everything has a reasonable explanation. You just, you know, I got my proof right there, Nick. Thank you.
I know, the portals.
I guess we're done with that one then. If you are still listening, thank you. I don't know why you are, but thank you. You can find us on YouTube at the Unpacking It Podcast. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, and I can't remember the other one I saw that we're actually being on now. Was it Google Podcasts now, I think, too?
Could be.
There's like 4 of them now that we're on. You said that you've been uploading our episodes to the website?
Yep.
You guys can check us out at theunpackingitpodcast.com, and you can email us at theunpackingitpodcast@gmail.com. Any final thoughts, gentlemen, ladies?
I'm buying books.
You've already moved on.
No, I'm at Barnes & Noble's. I'm going to see if Mom will let me order Court. Hey, why did it sign me out?
Then that would be a no for you.
No for what?
Anything?
Like I keep saying, everything.
I was going to say, you don't see a lot, but
No,
you say quite a
for
bit.
everything there's a reasonable
You don't hear a lot
explanation.
either.
Yes, there is.
I mean, I keep saying that, and I really do believe. Just because you don't know the
I
explanation, you
seriously
don't know.
hope you're the first one abducted to prove my points. I really do.
First of all, I'm already.
I
an
can't
alien.
hope for you to see Bigfoot because your eyesight sucks. So it's not going to be a visual one
First
for
of
you.
all, I'm already an alien, so hey,
You're a weird alien.
I got abducted, and maybe that's why, because I'm an alien. And
That's why
my
you're trying to
scope-
cover all these tracks so we don't get close to anything. And no, there's nothing going on here. No. Why would you think? No.
Well,
it's
when
all
you enter
fine.
Area 51, you go left, and there's a little, I can draw a map of Area 51. Where the bathrooms are, and, the mass hall, and, yeah. So, yeah.
Anyway.
I have nothing to say.
You're the smart one here.
I don't know.
Okay, well, I'm going to text her anyways. I want a book.
Thank you for listening. We'll see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Take it easy, guys.
Hey, Mom.